Rapunzel lived in the most luxurious penthouse in Seoul. She had designer clothes, private tutors, a personal chef, and a breathtaking view of the Han River from 40 floors above the city. To everyone looking in from the outside, she seemed incredibly lucky. But there was one thing Rapunzel had never experienced: freedom. Because she had never stepped outside that penthouse. Not once. For 21 years. The woman she called mother claimed she was protecting her from a dangerous world. But the truth was far darker. Rapunzel wasn't being protected. She was being imprisoned. And the woman who raised her was the most feared Mafia boss in Korea. Every day followed the exact same routine. Wake up, study, eat, sleep, repeat. Security guards stood outside every door. Cameras watched every hallway. Even the elevators required authorization codes. At first, Rapunzel never questioned it. After all, Mother Gothel had always taken care of her. She bought her expensive gifts. She celebrated every birthday. She told Rapunzel she was loved, but love shouldn't feel like a prison. As the years passed, strange things started happening. Men in expensive suits arrived late at night. Meetings lasted until dawn. Arguments echoed through closed doors, and sometimes people disappeared. One day they worked for Gothel. The next day they were gone forever. Whenever Rapunzel asked questions, Mother Gothel would simply smile. The less you know, the safer you'll be. For years, Rapunzel accepted that answer, until the night everything changed. It happened on her 21st birthday. Unable to sleep, Rapunzel wandered through the hallway outside Gothel's office. Then she heard her own name. She stopped. A man inside spoke nervously. "The rival family is searching for her again," another voice answered. "We should move her." Then Gothel spoke, cold, calm, dangerous. "No, if they discover she's alive, the entire empire collapses." Rapunzel froze. Alive? What did that mean? The conversation continued. "We should have eliminated her years ago." Silence filled the room. Then Gothel slammed her hand against the desk. "No, without Rapunzel, none of this survives." Rapunzel backed away from the door, her heart racing. For the first time in her life, she was terrified of the woman she called mother. Over the following weeks, Rapunzel secretly searched for answers. Using old computers hidden in storage rooms, she dug through archived news reports, court documents, crime investigations. Then she found it. 20 years ago, Seoul was consumed by a violent mafia war. Two powerful families battled for control of the city. Dozens were killed, millions were lost. But one mystery remained unsolved: the disappearance of a little girl, the daughter of a murdered mafia king. Kidnapped during the war, never found. Rapunzel stared at the newspaper photograph. The little girl looked exactly like her. Same eyes, same smile, same face. Suddenly everything made sense. Mother Gothel hadn't rescued her. She had stolen her. A few nights later, Rapunzel escaped to the rooftop. It was the only place in the building without cameras. Or so she thought. When she arrived, someone was already there. A young man sat on the edge of the roof overlooking Seoul. His name was Flynn. At least, that's what he claimed. Rapunzel immediately demanded to know how he entered the building. Flynn laughed. "Honestly? Your security isn't as impressive as they think." For the first time in years, someone spoke to her like an equal. Not a prisoner, not an asset, just a person. They talked for hours about Seoul, about life, about dreams. And when Flynn finally left, Rapunzel realized something. She couldn't stop smiling. Over the next several weeks, they met in secret. One evening, Flynn did something impossible. He smuggled Rapunzel out of the building. For the first time in 21 years, she stepped onto the streets of Seoul. The city was overwhelming. Bright lights, crowded sidewalks, music from every direction. Rapunzel felt like she had entered another world. Flynn eventually brought her to a small food stall beside the Han River. Steam rose from a bowl of bright red rice cakes. Rapunzel pointed. "What's that?" Flynn stared at her. "You've never had tteokbokki?" Rapunzel shook her head. Flynn nearly laughed. "Then tonight is officially the most important night of your life." She took one bite. Immediately, her eyes widened. The spice hit her like a truck. Flynn laughed so hard he almost fell off his chair. For the first time in years, Rapunzel laughed too, Not because someone told her to, because she was genuinely happy. Days later, Flynn brought her to Myeongdong. Neon lights covered every building. Street performers entertained crowds. Students took selfies beneath glowing signs. Rapunzel couldn't stop staring. Everything fascinated her. A musician, a street vendor, a group of friends laughing together. Simple things, normal things, things she had never experienced. As they walked through the city, Flynn watched her smile. And slowly, he began falling in love. The problem was that Flynn had a secret, a dangerous one. His real father was the leader of the rival Mafia family, the very family searching for Rapunzel. Everything fell apart when Flynn discovered the truth. Rapunzel wasn't just a kidnapped girl. She was the rightful heir to a criminal empire, a living symbol that could restart the Mafia war. His father wanted her found, his family wanted her used. And if they learned Flynn had been helping her, he would be considered a traitor. For days, Flynn wrestled with the truth. Then disaster struck. Mother Gothel discovered the relationship. Rapunzel was locked inside the penthouse again. No phone, no internet, no contact, back inside the tower. But this time something was different. Rapunzel knew the truth, and she refused to stay trapped. One stormy night, Flynn returned. Together they launched a desperate escape. They slipped through maintenance tunnels, avoided cameras, disabled security systems. For a moment it worked. Then alarms exploded throughout the building. Red lights flooded the hallways. Guards rushed toward them. The entire tower descended into chaos. Flynn grabbed Rapunzel's hand, and they ran. Down stairwells, through parking garages, across rain-soaked streets, with half the city's criminal underworld hunting them. Hours later, they found themselves standing beside the Han River. Rain poured from the sky. Neither of them spoke. The city lights reflected across the water. Finally, Rapunzel turned toward him. "Why are you doing this?" Flynn looked away. Because he knew his answer could destroy everything. Then he smiled sadly. "When I'm with you, I forget who I'm supposed to be." Rapunzel felt tears forming. "My family sees me as an heir. Your family sees you as a weapon. But when we're together, we're just people." The rain fell harder. Then Flynn finally said it. "I love you." The entire world seemed to stop. The traffic, the city, the storm, everything. Rapunzel smiled through tears and kissed him. The next morning, the war exploded. Both Mafia families converged on an abandoned shipping yard near the river. Mother Gothel arrived first, then Flynn's officer, then dozens of armed men. Everyone wanted Rapunzel. Not because they cared about her, because they wanted power, money, control. For years, everyone had decided her future. That ended now. Standing between both families, Rapunzel made her choice. She walked away from the empire, from the money, from the violence, from all of it. And for the first time in her life, nobody stopped her. Months later, Mother Gothel was arrested. The criminal empire collapsed. The war finally ended. 1 year later, Rapunzel owned a small bookstore overlooking the Han River. A quiet life, a peaceful life, the life she had always dreamed about. One evening, the bell above the door rang. A familiar voice spoke. "Still hiding from me?" Rapunzel looked up. Flynn stood there smiling. She smiled back. Because she was no longer the girl trapped in the tower. She was finally free. But that's just a story, unless Rapunzel really escaped. If you want more K-drama fairy tale reimaginings like this, subscribe to What If Tales, and watch the next story where What If Alice entered a virtual reality prison? Because sometimes escaping the tower is only the beginning of the real battle.